All right. Hello, everyone. And it's Sunday night here in Colorado. And I have been working, well, actually, not me. I've got a fantastic team of people who have been working with me on creating a Cortana demo. So, for those of you that don't know, Cortana is built into Windows 10. You are looking at Windows 10, which is running on my Macintosh. So it's not a perfect implementation, and I do find that if you run actual Windows 10 in a true, pure Windows 10 platform, Cortana works a little better. But for the purposes of for development, it works fine. So just a quick demonstration of Cortana. Hey Cortana, what time is it in Munich?
It's 6:21 a.m. in Munich.
So as you can see, it's very similar to the Echo platform in the sense that it'll look up things and do things for you, and it's sort of your assistant as you go along. So if I go, hey Cortana, what's on the calendar for tomorrow?
You don't have anything scheduled tomorrow.
Which is a lie. I don't have my calendar on this PC. So let's pretend. So first thing we want to do is we want to sort of have our banking application open, and that's what sort of connects it and gets it running in the background, and it allows you to interact with Cortana to your accounts. So I've called the program Bank Control, and I've built a fictitious financial institution called Your FI. The invocation, meaning how do I get it to come up, is I use the word credit union. So we'll start off just by saying, hey Cortana, open bank control.
Okay, starting bank control.
All right, so this is open, and as you can see, it's a screen. It wouldn't be hard for me to put a setting in here that basically says, hey, next time open minimized, I don't want to see this. But you're going to find that we're actually going to use this screen for some things. So I am going to minimize it, and I think the use case here is that you're working along in Word or something like this, and you're just typing and doing your thing. So, testing, 1, 2, 3, Cortana, testing, and you decide at some point, hey, I really need to know my checking account balance. So without having to touch anything or do anything, you can just say, hey Cortana, what is my credit union checking account balance?
Your current checking balance is $100.36.
So that's great, and it's pretty simple. I can also go, hey Cortana, what is my credit union savings account balance?
Your current savings balance is $1,000.65.
So point is that you're seeing that this is all happening over here in this Cortana space, which is kind of non-intrusive, doesn't really mess up my Word, and I'm allowed to keep working, which is a nice feature. The other thing that you may want to have this app rolling in the background that we don't have wired up yet is it would be very easy to push alerts and other things down to this desktop similar to the mobile phone as transactions showed up, for instance, or as processing happens, say bill pay, those sorts of things. It would not be hard. But this is kind of a limited space. I think it makes sense for quick information like the savings account or the checking account, but because we do have the full functionality of Windows 10, we can do other things. So for instance, let's say in this document at some point, it's getting to be tax season, I need to look up some history. So I can just say, hey Cortana, what is my credit union checking account history?
All right, retrieving history.
So in this case, it brought up the history. And now I can sort of switch how I'm interacting. I don't need to continue to talk if I don't want to. I could, use this to move back and forth in the application or move forward in the application. So And yeah, at some point I'll turn off the sounds. I thought they were cool, but now they're starting to irritate me. But I wanted to see if we could do it. I think it would be cool to have cash register sounds and other things. But as you can see, very, very easy to build a very nice looking graphical environment that could be something that's very different than your current home banking platform, particularly with the speech and the ability to interact locally. And we'll see even more of that here in a minute. So I think that's really well and how it worked out. So it is nice that we can pull up these different screens. Another example of a screen that we may want to see that would not maybe look as good in the little Cortana panel would be a budget. So in this case, all we have to do is, again, invoke Cortana. Hey, Cortana, what is my credit union spending budget?
All right, retrieving your spending budget.
So in this case, obviously, this is another, I think, good use of the platform in the sense that you could have some very graphical images here, very easy to interact with. They'll be much more fluid when they're running locally, as opposed, local code, as opposed to being in a browser or something like that. Now there are still things. Let's say that I was typing along on my memo and Cortana is fun. And I get a call from my daughter on my cell phone or a text, and she says, "Hey, Dad, oh goodness, I need you to transfer money to me. I inadvertently spent all my money at the mall." And I'm sure some of you can resonate with that. So I wouldn't have to stop what I'm doing. I could just call Cortana. Hey, Cortana, credit union transfer money.
Please choose your source account.
Savings.
Please choose your destination account.
Daughter.
How much would you like to transfer?
$100.
Do you want to transfer $100 from your savings account to your daughter account?
Yes.
Your transfer is complete.
And because that was all done over there, it wouldn't even be hard to, have it. I could have built something, and it's something I'm looking into. It would be very hard to just say, transfer money to my daughter or transfer money to my family, and have it list out my family members and give me options from Venmo to PayPal to whatever I want to do to be able to communicate with them. So that, again, is using sort of that left-hand side and this panel here, as opposed to going back to that full platform. But there are a couple other options left that I think make a lot of sense. Let's say that, I wanted to see what my opportunities were for a loan with the URFI credit union. So I would simply go, which, by the way, I would call that URFI, which I think sounds kind of cool. But I would just say, hey, Cortana, I would like to start a credit union loan.
Creating your loan application.
So in this case, you're able to see here's the loan, a very, very graphical impact with it. Not real hard to put all this together and have this walk through and pull in this information. So it's a pretty strong play, again, to have it in the platform. And finally, and this is probably my favorite use of this. So loans we've gotten, we did transfers, keep in mind, these are just my quick use cases. These are not in any means a totally well thought out product yet. There's a lot more to this that we can definitely do. And also keep in mind, for purposes of this demonstration, I didn't show you logging in, or you would sort of be in an always logged in space and implement security. But let's say that I wanted to talk to someone at the credit union. Because Skype and a lot of these video platforms are open, and VoIP has become something that's pretty generic out there. It really wouldn't be hard to connect to a service, even Google Voice or Skype, to be able to communicate with someone. And because of the way the graphical design is done, we could do it in a very rich environment. So let's take a look at what that might look like. Hey Cortana, please have my credit union call me. Okay, so this one it struggles with sometimes. Let's try it again. Hey Cortana, have my credit union call.
Connecting you to an agent now.
So in this case, you can see that, we could totally have a person that we could speak with live on the screen. And more importantly, we could even have that person be able to interact with this person right there on the screen and be able to push things out to them, including you can see the security or, assisting in different ways. So that's an interesting concept because of the nature of this connectivity. And just a little background on this kind of programming. It's the Universal Windows platform. And what that means is that this app will actually run just fine on Windows phones, and it'll automatically resize itself and take care of things. It'll also run just fine on an Xbox, which is something that we'll show soon. So as you're growing with this platform, there's a lot of opportunity to be able to have this be cross-platform, and it will be able to be in the Windows store. So you'll be able to go out to the store and download it if you wanted it to, and have it running locally. So that's Cortana, and hope you enjoyed it, and go Broncos. Talk to you soon.